What's up, people? It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon, and I don't know really how to say this. This is something that's going to be a bit new for the vlog, but today is not a particularly exciting day. Most of the time, because I'm a weekly vlogger, I get to kind of pick and choose which day I decide to make a video on, and I'll kind of look at my schedule for the week and I'll pick the day that has something exciting going on, and I'll do that day. And I'll shoot a bunch of video on that day and I'll edit it up throughout the week, and you know, my life looks super exciting. But there are 6 other days that happen during that week, and not all the time is there something exciting going on during those days. This week, I'm a little bit behind on things. We just got back from holidays. If you watched the last 2 videos, you'll know that. Very cool holiday, but now we're back and we're trying to get back in the swing of things. I'm sure everyone's experienced that when you go on holidays. Coming back is super tough and you got a lot of catch up to play. So we're kind of in that phase right now. We're trying to start some new things as well. And I'm just a little bit behind right now, so I haven't been focused on making sure that I'm looking at my schedule ahead of time and planning what I'm gonna do for the videos. So, today is not a particularly exciting day, but there are things going on. This morning we woke up, we went for our morning walk, and we started to talk about all the things that are on our to-do list that we've kind of just been putting off until they really need to get done, because there are so many more other important things that needed to get done quicker. So today was kind of the day when we would take care of a bunch of those things. We got dentist appointments booked, we took care of some of our tax papers that we wanted to organize. But the thing that I want to talk about today is something that I'm trying that's fairly new to me in certain aspects of my life, and it's something that I preach very heavily in other aspects of my life, and that is prep work. So when I get a client in the studio and they come to me and ask me how does the process work of recording, let's say they're new to the studio, that kind of thing, I'll tell them at some point that the prep work that we do, the pre-production, is one of the most important things that you can take care of. Planning the scheduling, planning how many instruments we're gonna need, planning if we need extra players to play those instruments, how long is it gonna take to edit, how long is mixing gonna take, who's gonna be mastering it. All of these things you start to think about before you ever hit the record button. Now, I find as a human, and maybe this is just me, but I'm pretty sure there's other people out there who feel this too, I feel like we want to just jump into the meat of whatever we're doing. So I'm talking about if you were to start a recording project, you want to just jump in and start playing things. But that pre-production phase can save you so much time later on and so much of a headache of trying to figure things out as you go. If you plan all of that ahead of time, then you don't have to worry about it as it comes up. You know, this is one of those things in life that's a lot easier said than done, because we want to follow our intuition and just jump right into things, and we're excited about it, so we want to get to the part that's the fun part. You know, the pre-production part isn't exactly the most fun thing in the world, but it's something that we can apply to many parts of our lives. And this is where I've come to today, is that I'm constantly preaching this as something that I use in my recording studio. As a professional, I can see it. I take a step back from a project and I'm able to see that that pre-production phase is super important and can help us get through the rest of the project super easy. But when I take that concept and try to apply it to parts of my own life, I seem to struggle a lot. So there are some things that I'm putting in place right now that are going to hopefully help me to get a little bit closer to where I want to be, and a little bit more organized and a little bit more prepared for things, so that the time that I do have to spend on things like, let's say, the videos or recordings of my own, or even just something as simple as making sure that all my daily chores are done, that everything is more organized and that it gets done more quickly and efficiently. I feel like I keep talking about efficiency in a lot of my vlogs, and that's because it's something that's very important to me. It's not something that I claim to be an expert on necessarily, but it's something that's very important in my life. And coming up on fall right now, I want to make sure that I'm ready to set new goals and that I'm ready to take on new experiences. And if I'm not being efficient, all of those things are going to suffer because of it. So one of the things that I've done to try and increase my efficiency is I got a new notebook. Now, As of right now, this is basically just a plain notebook, but something that I'm trying is this kind of fad thing called bullet journaling. And the idea is that you buy a plain notebook and you kind of turn it into your day timer and your notebook and everything kind of all in one. I'm not gonna get too deep into what bullet journaling is right now. Maybe I'll save that for another video and I'll show you guys how I decided to do it. I'll leave a link in the description for the main kind of bullet journaling, the guy who invented it. He has a video explaining just kind of the basics of what you can do. So I'll leave that down in the description and you can check it out afterwards. But this is kind of step number one for me to try and become more efficient and to become more organized going forward with what I'm doing and what I've already done. I'd like to have kind of a log of what I've accomplished. I'd like to be able to put my goals somewhere. I'd like to be able to keep track of my food and my exercise and all sorts of things. So I'm figuring that out, and I'll keep you guys posted on how that's going. Part of what I'm doing with that right now is I'd like to be able to put out more video content. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is do more tips and tricks videos, tutorial videos on music and photos and videography, maybe even on social media and how I use those platforms. So I've started to brainstorm some of the ideas that I want to do tutorial videos for, but actually shooting the tutorial videos is proving to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. I thought I would just set up a camera and I would talk into it and then I'd get some B-roll and I'd be able to kind of make it up all off the cuff, but it's really not going that way. Twice now I've tried to shoot videos. One was about Instagram stories and one was about the camera that I use. And I do still plan on doing those videos, but I tried to do it very off the cuff and just set up a camera and start talking. And unfortunately, neither of the videos are turning out how I had hoped they would. And I feel like it's because I didn't plan them. I didn't really think about what I wanted to say. I just thought, you know what? I know a lot about Instagram stories. I'll just start talking at the camera and the video will make itself. And that really just isn't how it worked. And it ended up taking me way longer than I wanted it to. If I would have thought it out before and planned everything, I could have just banged it off really quickly. So part of today and part of my not so exciting day is planning. And I think, like I said, this is something that we can all take into different aspects of our lives. So whether you're planning a project or whether you're planning a wedding or whether you're planning just what you're gonna do at work that day, if you just sit down for a couple of minutes and try and either write it out or at least put it in your phone or even just kind of think it through once first and think of all the things that you need to do to accomplish the goal that you've set out to do, it'll make actually doing that way simpler. And I don't know if this is just, you know, divine intervention or what, but I also got an email from the YouTube creator courses last night on a course that they're doing right now that is about pre-production and planning projects and writing scripts and those kinds of things. So I started that this morning, and that was just kind of a bit of a kick in the butt to get things moving. After I finished working on that course, I started to actually write up a bit of an outline for myself because I'd like to do lots of these tutorial videos, but I wanted there to be kind of a structure to it. So in order to make things easier for myself doing these tutorials, I made myself a sheet, and all I have to do is fill in the blanks on this. So at the top, there's going to be an intro sentence. So I'm going to say my name, say what the tutorial's about, and then I'm going to do a more detailed version of what we're going to be learning today, then 4 or 5 steps on how to do it or what the tips are. And then on the right hand side, there's like a spot where I can put in all the B-roll that I want to get. And then at the bottom, there's like a conclusion paragraph. So all I have to do really is take all these little holes that I've left for myself and fill them in. Should be pretty easy. I'm really looking forward to working in that way from now on because I feel like I'll be able to get closer to where I want with these tutorial videos without trying to do it off the cuff and having to check my phone and I'm writing the script halfway through because I'm having trouble remembering things. If I just have it all there beforehand and if I sit down and write 4 or 5 of them all at a time, it should be pretty easy to also shoot 4 or 5 of them at a time, and then I can be putting out more content to help the other creators who watch my videos and people who are interested in the things that I do and maybe want to learn how I do them. I get a lot of questions about things like my video editing and audio work, all of the photography that I've done that's up on my Instagram now, and people are asking me these questions of how I've accomplished these things, and I'm self-taught with most of that stuff, with the exception of the audio stuff that I have college diplomas in. The photo and the video stuff is all just self-taught. I learned off of people like Peter McKinnon and Travel Feels and DSLR Video Shooter, and I just do a lot of research on YouTube and online. So I'd like to be able to take all of that knowledge that I've accumulated from YouTube and from the rest of the internet and squash it into little tutorials that I can then share with you if you're interested, or other creators that I know are watching the channel. So there's really not too much to show of the vlog today. Normally I'd grab my camera and I'd say, hey, I just woke up and here's the exciting thing that we're doing today, and then I would film all of it and throw it all together with cinematic sequences and fancy things like that. But really, today is just about working. It's about preparing for what's going to happen tomorrow, and it's about hopefully getting a little bit closer to these goals that I'm going to be setting for myself come fall, which is only a couple of weeks away now. The leaves are already starting to turn yellow. So if you're interested in some of these tips and tricks videos or tutorial videos, make sure in the comments to let me know what you want to see. If you've seen something in one of my previous videos that you have a question about, make sure to let me know so that I can throw it on my list of tutorials to make. I know a lot of people ask me about color grading, about the editing. I've got some stuff lined up for that. A lot of people ask me what gear I use, so I've got some videos lined up for that. I just have to make these things, and today is about planning them. So make sure you let me know if there's something you want to see. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Make sure to hit the little bell notification button so that you don't miss any videos, and I'll see you next time.